guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Brianna. Subscribe down below so you don't miss my weekly uploads. So today I just wanted to kind of sit down and talk about everything that's been going on with coronavirus and also basically where I'm at, because I was in the process of looking for my first teaching job. I'm a substitute teacher, and so just chatting about all that stuff. So just to start off with, I have been a substitute teacher, and so when this coronavirus thing started, it actually started in December. I didn't think it was really going to be that big of a deal, and so this semester has kind of just been progressing like normal. Nothing has really changed for me as far as being a sub inside the schools. And so today that I'm filming is Tuesday, March 17th. So let me just look at my phone to make sure I get all of these dates right. So my last day that I worked was Friday, March 6th, and the week after that was our planned spring break. And so from March 9th through 13th, my school district had already had that spring break week planned, and so I knew that I was going to have that entire week off. Let me just say, I did make a video about how much money subs make, and I'll link that down below, but I did mention that for me as a sub where I work, if I don't work, I do not get paid, which kind of sucks, but it actually makes sense, because if I'm not at school subbing, covering for a teacher, then I'm really not doing anything. So it makes sense that I don't get paid unless I work, but it also does suck because things like holidays and breaks, I do not get paid for. So I had already anticipated kind of being a little bit short of money this month, because I knew that for the entire week of spring break, so 5 days I would not be able to work, I'm not going to get paid. And so the 9th through the 13th was my spring break. And so sometime last week, I think it was maybe Thursday or Friday, is when things kind of started escalating with coronavirus across the nation, in Italy and Spain, just everywhere. And so here in Texas, school districts and also around the country started announcing that they would be closing. And so I work in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area, and lots of school districts here announced that they were also closing. Many of them are already on spring break. And so this was during our spring break week that I got the word from my school district that they would be closing for 2 more weeks after spring break. So in total, that is 3 weeks that I am not working and not getting paid for. And so right now it is Tuesday the 17th, and we are scheduled or planned to go back to school, I believe Monday, March 30th, but as of yesterday, I have no clue when we're going back to school. And so the DFW Metroplex has so many school districts, but there are a couple of big ones. Mine is pretty big. You have Dallas, Fort Worth. There's a lot of school districts around here, and usually whatever the big school district for that county. So Dallas County has Dallas, a bunch of other ones. My school district is in Tarrant County, which also has a ton of school districts like Mansfield, Arlington, Grand Prairie. And so usually they will kind of be on the same page. And so when my school district announced that they were closing for 2 weeks, that was after they met with the Tarrant County health officials, and pretty much all the other school districts followed in line with that 2-week closure. And so yesterday, a few school districts around here, Dallas included, which is a really big one. They have so many different schools. It's a huge school district, announced that they were closing indefinitely, which at first they had put a date on it, which was that last week of March, the first week of April. Now they're saying indefinitely. I've seen a couple of other school districts here in Texas also say that, and so it kind of makes me think that my school district will probably over the next 2 weeks follow suit with that. And so as of right now, I do not know when I'm going to go back to work. If I'm not working, I am not getting paid. I do not have any money saved up. So that's kind of where I'm at now as a sub. I do believe that teachers are still getting paid because they have a salary and they get paid year round, probably monthly. As far as other staff workers like office receptionist, custodians, things like that, I'm not sure if they're getting paid. And so keep that in mind, that not just for schools, but people are losing their jobs, losing money, not getting paid, having to stay home. So this is affecting a whole bunch of people, but that's kind of just where I'm at now as a sub. So as far as other things going on. So I had just finished my last teacher certification exam. It took me forever to pass all 3 of them for English, ESL, English Second Language, and journalism. And so spring is hiring season. I was applying to jobs like crazy for this upcoming school year for 2020 to 2021. I had registered for all these job fairs coming up at the end of March and April and May. Some of these job fairs have been canceled. I don't even know what's going on. And so I am kind of stressed out, not just for the fact that I'm not working right now because I'm a sub and there's no school, but mostly because I was really trying to get my foot in the door and start teaching, find a job for this next year. Now I really don't know what is going to happen, because obviously a job fair with tons of people coming in from all over, shaking people's hands, meeting principals, that is not what needs to happen now, because they are advising you to stay away from, I think they said groups of more than 10, but more than 50 for sure is what the CDC has recommended. So of course there's online applications, which I have been doing. I've kind of taken a break from them just to kind of like mentally give myself a break, but that's where I'm at now. So I'm not really sure what, my lights just fell. Okay, so I'm not really sure how that's going to look at, because spring is really when school districts do a lot of hiring for the upcoming school year. And of course, job fairs are so important because you actually get to interview, you get to meet people like principals and assistant principals face to face. And so not sure what is really going to happen as far as that whole hiring process, but I have at least 2 more weeks off. So I'm definitely going to just keep applying to places online and just keeping up with the news and seeing what happens. And so something that's really great that I've seen is that a lot of schools in Texas and also around the country, since they are closed, are offering like different sites for free breakfast and lunch meals for kids. Guys, lots of kids, when they go to school, that meal, that breakfast, that lunch could be their only meal they get all day long. So I was super worried about what would happen to these kids because they haven't been in school for 3 weeks, or 3 weeks total with spring break and then 2 weeks of closures, could be more. And so I'm really happy that lots of schools are doing that. So guys, the cafeteria workers, these principals, they're still working, they're still doing stuff. Just because there's no school doesn't mean they're not doing things. So I kind of feel kind of like helpless because I'm just sitting at home waiting to see what happens. But there are lots of people in the schools who are actively still working and still trying to provide for these kids. And so yeah, there is a lot going on right now. And keep in mind that lots of people are out of work, underworking, losing their jobs, but at the same time, there's lots of people who are overworking, guys. Doctors, nurses, hospital staff, grocery store workers, they are still working like crazy. Journalists, reporters, they're working around the clock. And so it's kind of like a weird combination of people who can't work and then people who are just continuously working to try to deal with the situation. So not really sure what else I wanted to say, but that's kind of just what has been going on, how this has been impacting me as a sub. If you're a sub, comment down below. Do you get paid regardless of whether you work, or what is going on for you? Has your school closed? Have they not closed? There's a teacher in New York who I follow that makes YouTube videos and stuff, and her school has not closed yet. I think they were petitioning to get their schools to close, which is kind of crazy because it does seem extreme to just completely close all the schools, bars, restaurants, and everything. But this seems like this is probably the best move. Better to be safe than sorry. So some schools are still in school now, which is kind of crazy because places like schools are just like hot zones for sickness and germs to be passed around. So comment below if you work in a school. Are you still in session? Have you guys canceled or closed school? Like, what is going on? Because it seems like there's just a whole bunch of things happening and not everybody is on the same page. So with that being said, I have a couple of weeks with nothing to do. So I'm definitely going to keep making content, more content, posting videos. I've been posting at least 2 videos every week. Expect to see more from me. And even though I'm not in school, I still had an entire list of substitute teacher related videos about my experiences, advice, and my story on how I am becoming certified. So this could get interesting depending on what happens with coronavirus, but I definitely do plan on still posting those. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is kind of just a random just talking to you guys video, and definitely make sure that you guys are staying safe. Try to stay home as much as possible. Stay clean. Clean your house, guys. I deep cleaned my room the other day and it felt so good. So even if you're not personally worried about contracting it, keep in mind people who are at risk, people who are elderly, babies and infants, people who have conditions like diabetes, respiratory conditions. They are actually at risk and scared. So definitely keep those people in your thoughts. Keep the grocery store workers, the doctors, the nurses, the teachers, keep everybody in mind. And definitely, guys, watch the news, read the news, listen to the news. You guys have to stay informed so that you know what is going on. And one more side note that I just have to throw in, because I was formerly a journalist. Guys, the media is not causing panic. They're not trying to create hysteria. It is their job to tell you guys what's going on. So please just stay informed. They're working around the clock, long hours, putting themselves at risk by getting near these areas in order to give you guys the information. So stay informed, stay clean, and stay safe, guys. I will see you in my next video. Bye, y'all.